Welcome back to another episode of the Willie Morgan Show with Manchester United icon Willie Morgan. Some big news this week. Willie received a medal, which I'm sure we'll talk about very soon. But first of all, Willie, how are you?
Yeah, we're fine. I don't know whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, it's getting worse down here. I don't know what it's like up in Scotland. It's back again. It's not as bad as it was. The effects are supposedly not as bad, COVID, but there's a lot of it. We all thought it had gone away, and it hasn't. Anyway, other than that, no, it's good. Apart from today, which has been kind of wintry, it's been beautiful. It's been absolutely, as I'm sure it was in Scotland. The weather's been fantastic. So, no, all good, as well as can be expected. Some sad news, of course. Another friend, I think every time we come on, Callum, every time we come on, somebody else. Andy Lochhead. Now, I know it's before your time. It wasn't before my time because we played together. He was a great centre forward for Burnley. I played with him for many, many years. And we used to meet up pretty regular in Tenerife, him and his wife, Carol. And Carol, if you're listening or anyone's listening, please pass on our condolences to all the family. They were great fun. We used to sit down the front, have a drink with Carol and Andy, Kay and I, put the world to rights. He was always moaning, always bloody moaning. But he did, as I've told you before, he didn't get man of the match. He said, I scored 4 goals. How did you get man of the match? Well, I made all your goals. I made all 4 of them. And I scored 2 myself. Yeah, but I should have got man of the match every time we met. And a nice banter, of course, and good fun. And sadly missed. He was a great centre forward, one of the best I played with, and he'd be sadly missed.
And in terms of Andy, I mean, what was the real strength of his game? Was he strong in the air? Was he quick? What was he like for younger fans who maybe didn't get to watch him?
For the younger fan, you're going back to 5 forwards. Right wing, inside right, centre forward, inside left, outside left. And Andy was an old-time centre forward. He gave as good as he got. He would battle, he would hit them, he would knock them, he would chin them, he would do anything. But he was great in the air, which all the old centre forwards were. They were there to convert crosses. And he was great in the air. But he would battle. Oh my God, when I think of it, I used to cringe on the wing, thinking, I hope the centre half doesn't come out and kick me after Andy hit him. But for the young, it was a different game, a different game back then. But he was as good as any up front. He was as good as any I played with. He was scored lots of goals. And it was nice to know him. Big old Scots lad, of course, and his wife Carol as well. Obviously, I've known them both since my God, I don't want to say it, Callum, so long ago, 1960, right? He got into the team probably just before, maybe a few months before me, not much more. The centre forward when I joined Burnley was Ray Pointer, and Andy came into the team roughly when I came into the team, and so we played many years together, many great years. Anyway, he'd be sadly missed. He'll certainly be missed in Tenerife. He liked to prop up the bar for a little while. He was one of the good guys. One of the good guys. Anyway, no doubt he'll meet a lot of people that he played with and played against where he is at the moment.
And in terms of the golf, we always talk about your golf game. Is it strong at the moment? Is it going through a good spell?
The game's all right. Oh, Callum, it's a kiss of death for a golfer. How are you playing? I'm playing well. Really? Oh, yeah, the game's good. I played last week, the week before, with one of the girls who's on. She's on the main tour. A girl called Carly Booth, Scots girl. Fantastic golfer, and Brian McFadden and Cole Page, another singer. In fact, Cole had just come back. He'd been in America singing at Steve Wynn. I don't know if you would know who Steve Wynn is. The Wynn Hotels. There's a Steve Wynn's. And Donald Trump. I'll never forgive him for going back to speak to Donald Trump, but Steve Wynn. So Cole had gone over to sing at Steve Wynn's 80th birthday party down in Florida, Trump Plaza, whatever it's called. So we had a good round. Sadly, we got beat, but it's the first time McFadden's won for ages, so he's happy anyway.
Well, in terms of the football, it's been the international break. Manchester United haven't played for 13 for 14 days now, which is probably a relief given the form that the club have had.
Yeah, I don't know what else we could say. Who is this guy? What's he doing there? It's crazy. This guy in charge. I keep going to say manager. Of course, he's not a manager. He's a coach. It's hard to say that word, coach. I don't know. I hope he goes, whoever they appoint, even if it's Stevie Wonder, he'd be better than what we got. I hope they get rid of him then. I don't know what he would do. He's a joke. He's an absolute joke.
Just on a couple of the players this week, Luke Shaw came out after playing well for England. I think he scored and he said, "I find it easier to play for England than Manchester United." What did you make of that comment?
Well, he hasn't played for Man United, has he? When did he last play? He's a winger's dream. You get 300 caps playing against Luke Shaw. He couldn't tackle a fish supper. He's useless. Anyway, go on. No, he's useless. Right? And you got another one, Maguire. Why the slagging and why this? Well, because he can't play. Oh, he's fantastic. I don't know what the coach is looking at. No. Listen, if that's going to be England's team in the next World Cup, they got no chance with that defence. They're all looking for a way out. So, and I don't know what we're going to do. And whoever comes in, going back to what we're talking about, it's another 5 years, 6 years to build a team again. It's going to have to change not all the personnel, but most of it, and start from scratch. It's another going back to basics again. And it's not about money. I mean, we realize money doesn't buy you players. We know that. I spent over £1 billion on players. We've got nothing. Best players, the kid that come through the youth system, Rashford. I know he's struggling, but he's still a good player. And you got to look at bringing kids through again that want to play for the club and want to play for pride and not play for money. Oh, they're mercenaries. They don't care whether they're playing, whether they're not playing. And to go back, I don't know how many times we've said over the last couple of years, Pogba's agent, get him gone. Anywhere, just take him away. So if you're listening, I don't know agent's name. Is he Spanish or
His
whatever?
his name is Mino.
Mino. Yeah, okay. Mino.
Well, I'm sure if he is listening, he'll be looking forward to taking him away to his next club, because Pogba was on international duty, obviously, with France this week, and said wherever he goes next, he wants a guarantee that the club can win trophies.
Well, they won't win trophies with him in the team, that's for sure. Wherever he goes, he'll make sure they don't win trophies. He's useless. Anyway, so we diverse again.
Just on Maguire, Willie. I know again you've been very honest about how you feel about him as a player. He's complained about being booed from his own fans. Gareth Southgate said it was disgraceful and disgusting. Do you think fans should ever boo one of their own?
Why do you think they boo him, Callum?
They don't think he's good enough.
Why does Gareth Southgate not that bright? Why do you think they boo him? Because he's useless. He's useless. And Gareth Southgate defending him, saying, "Oh, he's fantastic for England." Really? I'll tell you what, I don't know what he's watching, but it comes back to just another coach. Just another coach. Anyway, it's, I don't wish any player to be booed, apart from the away fans, because if they're booing you, it's because they know how good you are. they don't like you. But to get booed by your own fans, wow, it tells you how bad it is, even though it's not nice. And you don't wish that on anyone. He's a professional player, he's earning a living, and good luck to him. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. Good luck to him. But don't tell us how great he is. I mean, Southgate talking through his backside. How great he is. We watch him every other week. He's not. He's dreadful. Gareth.
How do you solve an issue, a problem like this? If you're Manchester United, though, you've paid £80 million for him. He's your club captain. Can you afford to just bench him? Can you afford to sell him at a massive loss?
Overnight. How much can they afford to pay somebody to take him? To get money for him. Pay somebody to take him away and give us a chance. But other than him, it's not just him. With the greatest respect, it's not just him. Lindelof, well, they're all. And we keep going back to Jones. Got a new contract? For what? Does he carry the kit bag? We're all astounded that he signed another contract. But that's the state. We're really, really in a bad way. And luckily we've got a few players, and God forbid, because I'm sure Ronaldo got the end of the season as well. I don't know what we do then, because he really is the only one capable of scoring goals on a regular basis. Yeah, you get the odd goal from somebody else, but it'd be an odd goal. He's one of the great goal scorers, and without him, we got nothing up front. We got nothing, absolutely nothing. It's frightening, the future. You'd like to think, oh, bring a new manager in and we're going to compete for it. No, we won't. We're going to struggle again. It's just how long, and depending who they bring in. I mean, I see there's 4 candidates. We'll see. I just don't know. It's very, very difficult. Speaking to the supporters when on the golf course and when we're out and about, and they say, really, what are we going to do? I don't know. I wish I had an answer. But you have to look above the coach and look at the people who's appointing these people. Who's been appointing these managers? Who's in charge of doing that? That's what you got to root out. The people behind the scenes that you don't see, who are still doing it and getting away with it. I mean, manager after manager after manager. It's dreadful. I don't know who it is. I mean, we spoke about this before. The people behind the scenes. Who's doing what? So we need to root him out. I'd like to know who it is, Callum.
Well, funnily enough, Louis van Gaal came out and criticised the people behind the scenes. I would just like to get the memories of Louis van Gaal from you, because as much as he was complaining about United caring more about commercial money than on-pitch results, which I think it's fair to say I do have sympathy for, and I maybe agree with that view, Van Gaal's football was pretty boring.
You've been so kind. You know, that's a nice thing about you. You are so kind. It was minging, to use a Scottish word, minging. He was minging. I want to know who appointed him. Who appointed this guy? He's dreadful. You know, and you complain, yes, commercial. All teams are commercial, not just Man United. They have to make money to survive. And the Glazers, would I want the Glazers as owners? No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. But then again, they'd give them over £1 billion to spend on players. So don't knock. You can't knock the Glazers for saying there's, you can't buy anyone. We just want to make money. They've spent. They've let them spend. They've not spent. They've let them. Whoever they put in charge, that's the downfall. They know nothing about football. And obviously the person they put in charge of appointing and buying players knows nothing about football either. So you got to find out names, Callum. You've got to find out these names for me.
Well, Ed Woodward obviously has just resigned, so Richard Arnold is replacing him. But it's said that they might bring someone else in to oversee things. One of the interesting stories that keeps coming out in the press is that Sir Alex Ferguson would like to see Maurizio Pochettino, the Paris Saint-Germain manager, become the Manchester United boss. Should Manchester United still be listening to Sir Alex Ferguson 10 years after he left the club?
Should I answer that?
I think silence gives it very much away.
He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be saying anything. He shouldn't be criticising managers. It's not his job. He's finished. Keep your nose out, Alex. Just get on with your horses. Keep your nose out. That's what you should be doing.
I agree. I think it's one of those situations where whoever is hiring the manager, whether it was Ed Woodward, now it's going to be Richard Arnold, they should be making that decision. And I agree with you. I think it's one of those where I think they should interview more than one candidate, and then they should make their mind up. The one thing I would say is I would like to see United try and get Thomas Tuchel from Chelsea. They're going through a tough time at the moment. Whether he would come, I don't know, but he won the Champions League last year, and he looks like he's the sort of manager that could galvanise United. Whether they could get him, Willie, that's another question.
I don't know. You know, my bone of contention is that no matter who they get, is a coach. I don't want a coach. I want a manager. I want someone to come in and work with the end product and put a team together, put a blend together, put a formation together and let them play. I don't want another coach telling people how to play, especially people who couldn't play. Why would you put someone in charge? In the world that we're living in, obviously it's coaches trying to tell people how to play, but they can't play themselves. It's crazy. And why would you buy somebody who can't play and tell them how to play? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. All you have to look at is that dummy that's there now, right? Leaving Ronaldo out when we played Man City. Really? He's the only guy who can score goals. And you leave him out and go to Man City. Do you hope to win? Well, obviously, you're not going to win. But that's a coach. Matt Busby wouldn't have left him out. Joe Mercer wouldn't have left him out. Bill Shankly wouldn't have left him out. You put your best players out at all times. All times. It's just crazy. But that's how coaches think. That's how coaches think. There's geezers, I mean, apart from the fact that I've never heard of him. Did he ever play football?
Not at a high level.
Not a high level. Not at any level. Minging. And he's leaving Ronaldo out. You idiot. Absolute idiot. He should be hung from the highest tree in the land doing what he did. Absolutely horrendous. But that sums up coaches. And I hope he doesn't stay on at Man United. It'd be heartbreaking.
I don't think he will. As I say, the chat seems to be that Eric Ten Hag, the Ajax manager, it's between him and Maurizio Pochettino. And I think the club are torn. I think they want Ten Hag, but a lot of former players, Gary Neville, Rio Ferdinand, obviously Sir Alex Ferguson and others have said that they should go for Pochettino.
Oh, they're all good judges, aren't they? Yeah. Gary Neville, he was good when he went as a manager or coach, just a coach. Yeah. They haven't got a clue. You're just appointing another coach, any coach. Change the game. Go and get a manager. Go and get a manager.
Just on that, I was at an event down in Manchester at the weekend with Wayne Rooney, and he said the only reason he went into management is because he wants to one day manage Manchester United. Now, I'm not saying Wayne Rooney should be considered now, it's probably far too soon, but do you think he's someone that one day could manage Manchester United?
Yeah, I think nothing wrong with Wayne Rooney. I think he'd probably be a good manager. Manager, not a coach. Not a coach. You're not going to, until they change the structure. You know the sad thing, and again, I'm sure we've said it and repeated it many times on our show. Matt Busby, Bill Shankly, Bill Nicholson, Joe Mercer, they couldn't get a job now. Don't have a coaching badge. But if you're a school teacher with your coaching badge, you can manage Man United. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. It's absolutely crazy. And it does upset me. It won't happen in my time, I don't think. But it will happen somewhere down the line. They'll say, hey, this coaching thing is ridiculous. They've created a niche for themselves. And it's people who couldn't play, who became coaches, and then suddenly they've got into a little bit of power. Without a coaching badge, you can't get a job. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I look forward. I do hope I'm around when it happens. It will happen at some stage. It will go back to having a manager and not a coach. It's one of those things that came from America, like everything else. All the NFL teams have coaches. Not players, they have coaches, not managers. And we need a manager. And I said a manager is someone who comes in, keep saying it, and he buys a player to play in a position. And you play in the position that he bought you for, because that's the blend. You can't have 5 Dennis Laws or 5 George Best or 5 Willie Morgans or 5 Paddy. It's a blend. You have to fit into the pattern, and that pattern is what a manager does. Then you go out and play. It doesn't tell you how to play, because if you had to tell you how to play, you wouldn't be there. So, but a coach does. That's all a coach does. Tells people how to play. Occasionally you'll get people who come along who, they could be a manager, and they could be very good managers. There's obviously 2 around at the moment. I think Klopp would be a manager. He acts like a manager. The guy at Man City, Guardiola, He acts like a manager, and he puts his team out and his team plays. You don't see him running around, bloody waving his hands and doing this and doing that. It's really simple. What a coach will do, if he has to make a substitution, he'll change 5 positions to bring one player on. A manager, if your left winger got injured, the guy who plays in the left wing comes on and plays in the left wing. You don't make 5 positional changes to accommodate one substitution. A coach does. And it's just not the game. Obviously, it's a different game. But Andy Lockhead, you managed Andy playing now. If you stood up front, I'm like, who's going to cross the ball for me? Give me some service. Because that's all he did. He spent his life in the opposition's 18-yard box. That's what he did. That was his job. Whereas now, I don't know, I just don't know. Well, I do. You got to get rid of the coaches and change the game back to people who can play and let them play. Don't tell them how to play.
In terms of questions, I'm going to save the questions up for our next show. So if you want to get a question in, if you just comment on Twitter under Willie's name or my name and get your questions in for the next show. Because it's international break, I've decided I'll keep them until United are back and we can have some questions about what's going on in the field. But before we go, I want to spend the last 5 minutes or so, Willie, talking about the medal that you received this week. A real honour.
Before the medal, I hope we win at the weekend as well. Okay.
We need to, exactly, at Ibrox, 12 o'clock.
I know. Yeah, the medal. Well, it's been a long time coming, and something that I knew, to be honest, I didn't even know it existed. When you played 25, you had 25 caps or over for Scotland. I don't know about other countries, but that you got a silver medal stroke. I didn't know that. It was a reporter from the Scotsman up back home that rang me to say, "Oh, you qualified for a medal. Now you've got 5 more caps." And yeah, so really, well, thank you. It's taken a while, but we got a letter from Rod Petrie, the president of the SFA. Rod, thank you very much. I know we've sent a note to you to say thank you. The medal's fantastic, and obviously I'm very proud to have it. It's 55 years on, but nevertheless, it's nice to have it even now. And it's thanks to him. They've gone ahead. But from the lad from the Scotsman, right, I wouldn't even know that I qualified for anything like that. So it's really down to him. That he told me that we've been 5 caps have been 5 appearances have been upgraded to caps. Why they're not caps anyway, Callum, I don't know. As you know, it was a world tour, Scotland on a world tour, and we played 9 games. I played all 9 games, and they said, "Well, they're just appearances." No, really? Okay, that's okay. And then 55 years on. 55 years on. Well, they've upgraded 5 of them to full caps. Okay. What about the other 4? Why are they not? I don't understand. But anyway, I thank Rod. They arrived yesterday, and it is very, very nice, and it will have pride of place.
And just before we go, what are the main differences between playing for your country rather than a club? Obviously, the obvious difference, of course, you play with different players, but does it feel different?
Well, it does. The fact that you are playing with people who play for other clubs, that you're playing against, lots of time, week in, week out, and all of a sudden you're playing together. I think just the fact that, I mean, it meant more for my dad. He was overjoyed, playing for Scotland. Oh, my son playing for Scotland. It's very special, play for your country is very, very special. I mean, the football's no different. Obviously, just the same thing you're playing against, like you do day in, day out. But the whole atmosphere is great. And, and then you go and you play for Scotland, and you got the Scottish supporters. They come from everywhere. The people who support all different clubs, but they support the country. They come together, and that's nice. When we were on tour, when we played, abroad on tour, but on tour as well, and the World Cup, the Scottish supporters were unbelievable. I mean, the Tartan Army was unbelievable. Wherever you went, they were happy, they were singing, no fighting, no nothing, just happy. And it's a very special feeling. And the medal is just a bonus. I just wish I got it when my dad was still alive, because he would have loved it.
And in terms of Scotland, you can read Willie's interview with the famous Tartan Army magazine in their latest issue. John Bleasdale has conducted an interview with Willie about his career, and there's even a story in there about Rod Stewart and Billy Connolly being in Willie's bedroom floor. So it's worth the read, and as I say, you can get that online for free at the famous Tartan Army magazine.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen nowadays. I don't think it would happen nowadays. Really sleep together on the floor. My God, Callum, you couldn't write this stuff. You couldn't write it. So yeah, that was in Germany, as you well know. So well, and we're all still here, the three of us. So must have been all right in that floor.
And just before we go, I believe you're off to the sunshine. Am I right in saying in the next week or so?
We're having a little break. We've been planning this for and obviously it kept getting. First of all, it was Thomas Cook. We went bust. We were going to Vegas and over to LA to meet up with Mathis, spend some time with him at his home, and it was cancelled. They went bust, and then we rebooked with whatever to do it again. That was cancelled, and then COVID came in, so we decided to change venue. We're going to Dominican Republic. I've never been there, and that was cancelled. And this is another. Hopefully, we're all sweating because we're all in hibernation. So hopefully no one gets COVID, so we can't go. So we're off there very soon, just for a week. A little bit of sunshine and a little bit of fun.
Well, it's definitely well deserved after a couple of years with all this COVID situation. So have a great break. We'll be back, of course, in a couple of weeks' time. And before we go, Willie, anything you'd like to say to the listeners?
This is always, I know COVID's on the rise, certainly here. Just take care of yourself as always. And whoever, whatever, may your God go with you.